Hey, Sagittarius. I went ahead and pulled your cards and got the message and then decided to hit record. So we start with the sun in reverse. That today feels very much like a loss of innocence. Um, Typically, when you see the sun in the Rider Waite Smith deck, there's a little kid on a horse just in pure bliss, pure joy, pure happiness, just living its best life. Um, but today it's the sun is in the reverse, and so it feels like there's a loss of that childhood dream, right? This may have nothing to do with your childhood, okay? It could just be some sort of circumstance in your life that has opened your eyes, I want to say. And my first thought was very 3D, and it it gave me the idea of some sort of trauma. But then I got like a more 5D feeling from it also. So maybe it's something different for everyone. Well, obviously, it's going to be something different for everybody. But the 5D thought process was more like well, again, eye opening, but maybe information that you've come to that has just maybe blown your mind, right? So either way, whatever this is, there's some sort of loss of innocence. There's some sort of wake up, right? I don't have the judgment or the hierophant to solidify that, but you'll see what I mean when I keep going. So next is the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. This feels very much so in the upright. Oftentimes it's the card of being left out in the cold. Um, and it doesn't feel much different in the reverse, but it feels less like forgotten or because being left out in the cold is more just like, in this case, it's more like these people who are usually here in the card, they could go inside if they wanted help. If they really, because this is a church, okay? So if they really felt the need for some sort of assistance, all they would have to do is walk inside and get help. And so it's almost like they are, while yes, left out in the cold, it's almost like they're not trying to change their own circumstances. But because this is in the reverse today, it feels more like being shunned or ostracized, being intentionally pushed out of some sort of group or family dynamic or whatever. And so I feel like whatever this is that has happened, or whatever information that you've consumed, or whatever the situation with the sun in reverse that has caused you to, um, I don't think it's like lost your, maybe you have, maybe you're not seeing the joys in life. Maybe you've lost the excitement, but I think it's more just you see things that you didn't see before. You know things that you didn't know before. There's this song that this is reminding me of. If I knew now what I didn't know then. That's kind of what it feels like. So, or if I didn't know, I don't know how it goes. Anyways, it feels, yes, like you're being ostracized or have been. Like the whatever this is, people don't, either they don't believe it, they don't want to hear it, they don't care. It's not important to them. And the reason I feel this way is because next you have the Fool in reverse, and I feel like because of maybe other groups or people's reactions to this, and I feel like it's got to be a group, because every time I looked at this 5 of Pentacles, I got the word ostracize, and it feels like it's not just one person saying, "Hey, you're wrong," or "You're crazy," or "That's ridiculous," or "You're lying," or whatever. It's more like a group just not, closing their ears and eyes, not wanting to hear it, not wanting to see it, and pushing you away because of it. So then it comes with the Fool next, also in the reverse. So your first three cards are in the reverse. And I feel like this is, again, um, doubling down on the loss of innocence. Um, and it feels like you're either are struggling or you have been struggling, um, did struggle to begin again, to get up, to stand up, and to have faith that, spirit or God or the universe has got your back. It's been a struggle. It almost feels like depression, but it feels like depression. Um, and now I don't know, again, I don't know if this is very 3D and that like maybe there was some sort of trauma that this has led to all this, or if it's more 5D and that it's more spiritual. Maybe this is like religious, well, a religion in general, or spiritual information, Akashic records type stuff. And the reason I say I don't know which one it is, well, it's going to be different for everyone, but also what's next is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is very, well, all cups are related to intuition, but they're also related to emotions. And so I think for some of you, this is intuition. Some of you, I think it's emotions. Some of you, it could be creativity. So another example with the sun could be this whole loss of innocence, could be maybe there was an idea that was just um, nixed, right? It was maybe it was, what is the word I'm looking for? Rejected. That's the word. So perhaps this is an idea that was rejected because King of Cups or cups in general are also creativity. So whether this is in relation to your intuition, which I would consider spiritual, right? Um, your intuition, your creativity, or your emotions. I think that because this King of Cups is in the upright, while this has been a very uncomfortable situation, especially because I do feel a bit of depression along with it. Um, I think that you're overcoming it. You're mastering something, whether that is your creativity, your intuition, or your emotions. There's some sort of mastery that has come along with this struggle. Um, it's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I know that that's hard. That's a hard quote for a lot of people, even for me sometimes, because I can get in these modes where I think of my situation is just so bad and so rough. And like, why would, if there's a God, then why would God do this, right? Why would he allow this? But then I can reverse that to think, well, once I come out of it, I usually am stronger, right? And I usually have learned something from it. And while it may not be necessarily a trial or a test, it's like sometimes we go through these things. I wouldn't say always, because like my neighbor says, the world's just a very broken place. We live in a broken world, I guess is what she says. But sometimes I look at it and I think, well, the thing wasn't done necessarily to me, it was done for me. And I know a lot of you have heard that before and probably roll your eyes at it. Just like sometimes it's easy to roll your eyes at what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But it's true. It's true. And so, anyways, we got the King of Cups, and I think that there's that mastery over, again, your intuition, creativity, or emotions. It's going to be different depending on what storyline this is for you. So then we have the Queen of Cups as your advice, which I found interesting because you've got the King of Cups already. It's like you've got that mastery. It's almost like this came out of order. Like you mastered first, and now it's time to nurture. Now it's time to receive. Now it's time to open and allow, right? Um, It came with the Death card and the Ten of Water in reverse. And so what I think is going on here is that there's a need to, I want to say, look inward, but not in the hermit sense, not in the, excuse me, going deep within to seek wisdom and then come out and share with the world, so much as go within. And with the Ten of Water, I don't know, you can't really see it from this far, but there's a mirror here. And sometimes I see it as like a magic mirror, but today it feels more like, especially because it's in the reverse, I feel like there's a different message. And I think that that message is to look at yourself, right? Um, hmm. Let's move to the Death card. So I'm going to come back to that one. So we have the Death card, and I noticed, of course, all of the Luna moths here. So this is a card of transformation, which the Death card inevitably is. So your advice is to allow some sort of ending. And then you have the Fool. Remember, I said in the reverse up here. So I think something's wanting to end and begin. I think there's a fresh start that needs to happen, and I think it comes along with looking within, right? Looking in that mirror and seeing the true you, like seeing who you really are. Look at your emotions very deeply, and look at you know, the creative aspect of you. And well, I keep wanting to say seek wisdom. And I know this is not hermit at all energy, but this mirror is. It's very much like, it is very much like going within and seeking wisdom, looking deeply, not just glancing, but looking deeply at yourself and at those bits of you that are going to allow you to receive and nurture your cups, right? Emotions, creativity, intuition. With that said, the tens are also endings, okay? So we have two ending cards here with the Queen. So this can also be read today. It's not always, but today can be read as it's time to take action with the King of Cups, right? That's where you're at right now, is the mastery, right? The King of Cups who does take action. He's very similar to a knight. And the Queen is again more receptive and nurturing and allowing. And because she is clarified by these two ending cards, I want to say that there is also a message of completing this inward mm, this inward look. Okay. So being done with that stage. It's hard. The way I'm going to say this sounds really harsh, but it's almost like get yourself out of the depression, right? Whatever this emotional turmoil is causing, or whatever emotional turmoil this is causing, it's time to get out of that. It's time to end it. It's time to have that fresh start with the Fool. It's time to find completion here. So I think there's two messages in this one card. I think that it's both. I think there's a need to, my dog is snoring right here, sorry. I think there's a need to go within and seek that wisdom, right? But then come out, be done, get a fresh start. Um, so I'm going to take one more card. This is from Between Worlds Oracle deck, just to close out your reading. You got clarity. Yeah, like seek clarity, right? That's really what you're seeking. It's not the wisdom so much as clarity. Or that's not what you're being called to seek. Seek clarity. Okay. Um I'll have to look in my book to see where this is. Okay, it says insight, new realizations, and confidence. The mind is a powerful tool. After a series of challenges or a period of time away, you've emerged with a broader perspective and clearer understanding of the situation. This card indicates a new lightness of knowing and an assuredness in your decisions. You're holding all the keys. There's no need to second guess anything. So this is where the advice comes in. I think this is just clarity is a doubling down on what I've already said. In that it says you've emerged with a broader perspective and clearer understanding of the situation. But I think that's where you're at right now. That is the advice: is to again go within and then emerge with a broader perspective and clearer understanding of the situation. So that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. I apologize it took so long to get out, but I've been working on some things. So thanks for being here today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.